Okay, so I think we're gonna get started. So hello everyone, and welcome to the LGBTQ plus abroad breakout session. My name is Will Clancy. I'm a peer advisor here at CGIS. Um, so if you want to make sure to fill out the sign-on form, it's either with the QR code or Juliana sent a link to it in the chat to let us know that you did attend this session. And we're just going to be talking about how to navigate a new culture as a member of the LGBTQ plus community and offer support as an ally today. So today we're just going to talk a bit about reflecting on your own identity, navigating a new cultural context, gender inclusivity, well-being abroad, being out abroad, as well as being an ally. And then we are going to talk about some on-campus and outside resources that are available if you would like to explore those on your own after this as well. So to start, expressing your LGBTQ plus identity can be a significant source of growth, challenge, and reaction in a new and unfamiliar environment. Um, so anytime you do go abroad, you are going to have to take your identity with you and face sometimes different scenarios, sometimes very similar to what you may have experienced here at home. You might already be very familiar with the challenges associated with navigating your identity on campus, but there's likely going to be a different aspect to it when you go abroad, especially depending on the context of your host culture and like where you're going. So when you're preparing for an educational experience abroad, it is really important to consider how this LGBTQ plus identity will be perceived within the context of your host country and where you're going, in order to have like a more fulfilling and better experience while abroad. So, a little bit about navigating a new cultural context. It's really important to do research on LGBTQ plus norms, laws, and attitudes of the country that you're going to before you go abroad. Many countries are very accepting of LGBTQ plus people, whereas there are other countries that are much less accepting. So it's very important that you research your specific country. We also do recommend that you research the specific location or city that you are going to be aware that cultural norms sometimes do differ from one region of the country to another. This is something that you may have experienced in the US, coming from a hometown to Ann Arbor. There's a lot of varying different areas with different views. And so it's really important to keep that in mind, especially when you're traveling to different parts of a country. It may be different in different cities or regions. It's also really important to prepare your health plan prior to departure. I know you guys heard about that in an earlier orientation session, but just be sure to consult with your primary care physician, checking out medications and regulations, what the insurance that you are using while abroad, so the Geo Blue, or if you have any other insurance coverage, what they cover while abroad in terms of what you may need, as well as knowing like hormone therapy or transporting needles or liquids safely. Understanding what the regulations are in the country you're going to is really important to do beforehand so that you do not arrive there and they confiscate something that you may need while you're there because you weren't able to research beforehand. Explore resources available on site. So we have a lot of resources available on the CGIS website for LGBTQ plus individuals, as well as our other like third-party providers also have lots of resources to help you navigate your social identity as you go abroad into a new cultural context. Um, you are not required to come out to anyone while abroad. It is completely up to you. It's a very personal decision. But CGIS does highly encourage you to include details on your social identities when filling out housing questionnaires. So whether or not you choose to be very out and open while abroad, or you choose to keep that to yourself while abroad because maybe you might find that easier, we do encourage you to disclose this on like housing questionnaires regardless, so that the program provider is able to place you in a housing situation that you feel safe and very comfortable in. And we also really encourage you to find a community while you're abroad. Being in a new environment and meeting new people can always be overwhelming. So, allowing yourself to immerse in the culture and joining spaces that have either similar identities or share your hobbies and interests can be a great way to really connect with the local culture, especially if you've connected with your identity groups that share your same identity here in the US. It can be really rewarding to go find another group with your shared identity abroad. So like I mentioned, being out abroad, students sometimes have mentioned that going abroad can be like coming out again. We highly recommend that for each of you to prioritize your safety and well-being while you're abroad. So this can mean a few different things depending on where you're going. If you're going someplace that might not be as LGBTQ plus friendly, you may decide to not share that part of your identity with a ton of people while you're abroad. But we want you to remain safe and for your well-being to be good while you're abroad, and so that you have a good experience while abroad. It's really important to find allies in either your classmates, your host family, other housemates, or even if it's through local orgs that you may get involved in while you're abroad. Finding those allies can just make your experience a lot and your transition to a new city and a new culture a lot less daunting and a lot easier. Um, if you have any questions or you want resources at your program, we do recommend that you talk to your on-site advisor, people that may work for your provider or work in the school, or your host family or local friends. Any questions about maybe events that are going on, how your identity may change in the context that you're in. And like I said, sharing your identity and educating others is not a requirement. This is completely up to you. Some people do really love to share their identity and teach more people about it. And that can be even more rewarding abroad with different people. But of course, this is your decision given whatever area you're going to and the safety of the environment you're in. Again, we want to just prioritize your safety and well-being. And so we encourage you to make whatever choices make you feel the most comfortable wherever you are going abroad. So a little bit about gender inclusivity abroad. Different countries and languages are kind of at different positions on how they include gender neutral language and like a use of a they them pronouns. Some University of Michigan French and Spanish and other Romance language classes do explicitly address this. So for example, in Spanish, some countries use elle as a gender neutral pronoun, which is something that you may choose to use while you are abroad. We recommend figuring out what works for you. Oftentimes, with the different languages, you might come across people that, for example, for the Romance languages, since they are gendered verbs, some people, when you're talking with a non-gendered alternative, they may feel that you are like breaking the language and may not enjoy that. So we just recommend to find whatever works best for you, whatever you're most comfortable with. And if you have questions or any sort of concerns or more questions about this, we do recommend that you check out a CGIS brief on navigating pronouns in gendered languages first, as well as meeting with one of the CGIS advisors. They can help work with you to figure out what you would like to do abroad and what might work best for you. We also do recommend that you research the accessibility for gender inclusive bathrooms in your host country. Bathrooms are something that people usually don't really think about before they go abroad, but that really is something that can be very different across the country, in different parts of a country, in different regions. So it can be very useful to research that ahead of time so that you know what the gender inclusive bathroom situation in your host country does look like before you go abroad so you can prepare yourself for that. Just a note on being an ally. So we all know kind of what an ally is. And so we just really recommend for being an ally while abroad is just listen and talk to others, especially if you know they share your social identity or if you know that they may identify with the LGBTQ plus community. Being open-minded and open to talking and listening to them can be really, really beneficial for your experience as well as theirs. It's also really important to self reflect, educate yourself about the issue, especially if you're going to a new country. Understanding kind of those norms, even if you are not a part of the LGBTQ plus community, and you just would like to be an ally, that can be very important so that you're aware of the norms, laws, and cultural context that you find yourself in so that you can be very helpful for any friends you may have that do really have to think about that and be concerned about that. So a bit of resources that we do have here at CGIS. One of the upcoming events that they have taking place is through the U of M Spectrum Center. It is a trans and non-binary passport clinic for students that would like to change their gender identity on their passports. If you are going abroad in the winter of 2024, so I assume all of you, you should not give up your passport at this point. It is too late in the application process where you would not be able to get a new visa or get your passport on time to go abroad. If this is something you would like to do when you return, please reach out to a CGIS advisor and we can work with you to kind of get the ball rolling on that so that you can update your passport when you return. But feel free to share this event with any friends you may know that would be interested in it. It's definitely a good opportunity that the Spectrum Center does offer. Some other resources we have through our office are your CGIS program advisor. They're very knowledgeable and can help you if you have any concerns or questions about what your experience may be like while abroad, or if you just have more specific questions regarding you or it might be more personal, they're happy to help. And we also have our CGIS risk mitigation and compliance manager, Rachel. She's also happy to help with any of those questions or concerns. And she can also help if you are abroad and you run into questions or concerns that you want to talk to our office about. Both the advisors and Rachel, the health and safety advisor, are happy to help you even while you are abroad. There's also a lot of outside resources that we do recommend students check out. So the US State Department has information for LGBTQ plus travelers. TSA has information for transgender passengers and going through security, things along those lines. The National Center for Transgender Equality has more information for going through like using your IDs and airport security as a trans person. There's also Global Gaze, which is a website that highlights different events and travel resources that are focused on the LGBTQ plus community. EqualDex is a great resource for finding out the norms, laws, and kind of cultural context of the LGBT plus community in the country that you're going to. And then IES Abroad is one of our third-party providers. Some of you may be going on a program with them. They also have their own LGBTQ plus resources, just like many of our third-party providers do also have. So we do recommend checking those out as well, as they can be really beneficial. There's LGBTQ plus travel safety tips, as well as the International Narcotics Control Board for if you were taking any medication abroad, just so you know what the regulations and rules are for that. I am going to show you guys EqualDex, just to give you an idea of what it is. So it kind of shows you a map of the world, and you can choose different indicators at the top to see what the laws and norms are. As you can see here, so you can look at your specific country, the other countries you might be traveling to while abroad, things along those lines, to get a better idea of what things look like in your country that you are going to. And so this is a great starting point if you're just starting to figure out what the rules, norms, and kind of laws are in the country you're going to. So we really recommend starting here, but also doing further research would be beneficial as well. So those are all of our resources. Thank you guys so much for attending. Make sure you do fill out the evaluation form so that we know if this session was very beneficial to you and was helpful. Again, thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great time abroad. And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. You can drop it in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them.